The last several weeks, if you've been driving early in the morning, there's a good chance you might have ran into a little bit of fog. There's 6 ways fog forms here in mid-Missouri. 4 most typical are going to be advection fog, radiation fog, steam fog, and frontal fog. I'm breaking down just how each one forms for mid-Missouri. Now, the setup for radiation fog is typically during the day, there's going to be heating that occurs. And at night, well, the air starts to cool, and that's going to eventually allow that cooler, moist air down towards the surface of the earth. Now, too much wind, and you actually won't be getting too much fog. So 5 miles per hour or just underneath is typically going to be that sweet spot for the early morning. Now, all that air will start to cool back down and sink towards the surface of the earth with the moisture and the dew points and the actual air temperature going to get a little bit closer, eventually forming that fog. Now, precipitation fog occurs usually just after rainfall. So you're going to have that warm, moist air well above the surface of the earth. Eventually, it's going to lead to some evaporation, which is actually going to give more cool back into the environment. Now, that'll start to settle back towards the surface of the earth, and eventually that moisture that's going to be mixing with the evaporation from that rainfall, well, it's going to cool down and eventually form that fog. Now, the last final one is going to be advection or frontal fog, very similar conditions. So you're going to have wind that's going to pass over a cooler region. Now, warmer air will move in just above that with some moisture, and eventually that cooler air is going to be cooling that warm air, kind of matching it, causing a lot of that moisture to cool back down to the surface of the earth, and once again, going to be giving fog. Now, driving through fog can be very dangerous at times, especially along the Missouri River Valley. So a couple ways to stay safe. You're going to want to turn your headlights on, but use the lower beams. Higher beams is going to scatter more light, making it harder to see. Now, you're also going to want to slow down, leaving plenty of room and stopping time between yourself and the car in front of you. And finally, keep an eye on the road and make sure those wipers and defrosters are on. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Couch.